we speak about someone that's been in it for the long haul and continues to be a shining star for this work, I want to introduce someone that is providing resources in rural Colorado that are desperately needed. She's lighting a torch when we know that some of these aspects, like harm reduction, are under attack. We are so grateful for this leader, as well as the support of her regional council for this work. It's an area that has been requested all over the state. So without further ado, I want to recognize Mugsy Seldeen.
Hello and good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be surrounded by so many inspiring people today that I am so lucky to call my friends and colleagues. And yes, shout out to Region 5 Opioid Abatement Council, because without y'all, none of what I do would be possible. So thank you. As Jamie said, my name is Mugsy, or Maggie Seldeen. Both are nicknames I've had my entire life, but I've grown to prefer Mugsy, as the name Maggie feels tied to a past that I've worked tirelessly to escape. I grew up in rural Colorado, in a part of the state synonymous with both wealth and drug use. My parents worked in restaurants, so naturally they were big partiers and drinkers. My mother was a violent alcoholic most of my life before eventually making the switch to heroin when I was 11 years old. My early life was plagued by trauma, violence, and mental health issues, and when I was 15 years old, my mom passed from a heroin overdose. This event, in many ways, was both the best and worst thing that ever happened to me. Of course, the loss of a parent so young is always a tragedy for all involved, but losing my mother also allowed me to eventually escape the cycles of violence and addiction. I, of course, spent many years mired in my own battles with substances and mental health issues, drinking nearly every night for over a decade, and trying any drugs I could get my hands on. Whether it was smoking, snorting, or injecting, all I wanted was to disassociate from the horrific reality that was my life. Even before my mom passed, I was criminalized and ostracized by my friends, family, teachers, doctors, therapists, police, and the courts, without anyone ever suggesting that there might be something deeply wrong going on at home. In retrospect, it's so clear to me now that I was lashing out because of uncontrollable and negligent external conditions, which conspired with my biological predispositions to create a very difficult young person. Yet very few people ever bothered to look beyond that aggression and defensiveness to see the pain and suffering that lay beneath. After losing my mom, I spent several years on the street, continuing the cycles of violence and addiction before finally finding a meaningful path. I was in a drop-in center in Santa Fe, New Mexico when I was 18 years old, giving a lecture to a friend on the importance of STI screening, when the staff overheard and jokingly offered me a job. But it wasn't a joke to me. It was as if someone had pushed the boulder out of the way to illuminate the light at the end of the tunnel. Because of the kindness of those outreach workers and their belief that I could be more than just a street kid, I got my first apartment in Santa Fe a year later, and I've been working in the nonprofit and medical sectors ever since, with the goal of using the knowledge and wisdom that was hard gained on my rocky road to help others, especially teens, so their roads can be a little smoother than mine was. In 2020, I founded High Rockies Harm Reduction to address the serious need for comprehensive harm reduction programming and expanded access to behavioral health services in rural Colorado. One of the thank you, yeah. We need it. We need it. Oh, now I'm gonna go off on a tangent. No, I'm gonna stick to the script because just like Shauna, I will talk forever if you let me, and we are on a schedule here. So one of the strongest held values of High Rockies Harm Reduction, and what I hope you all notice as a theme in what I've said today, is that addiction and substance misuse are so often symptoms of underlying mental health issues. We believe in meeting people where they're at with love and compassion, because for so many of us, all it took was one act of kindness, one person's love, one person's belief that we could be better to inspire us to get the care we need to turn our lives around. It is the greatest honor and privilege to be able to watch the lives of those I serve and truly everyone around me improve, because I am one person in their life who will always believe in them, no matter what rocky turns their road may take. Because I believe we're all humans. We all have the same basic needs for food, water, shelter, love, and belonging. We all have capacity for great joy and great sadness. We're all wired a little differently than each other, but we all face the same burdens of survival every day. We are all susceptible to stress and mistakes, but most importantly, we are all capable of change and redemption, and we are all worthy of surviving. So I can't help but imagine, what could it look like if we had a whole world of compassionate clinicians, cops, peers, politicians, and people who care? How many children's lives would be easier? How many parents would survive? How many lives could we change? And how many lives could we save? Thank you so much.
Give it up.